Alright, so I wanted to make a tutorial for live bands, bands that aren't recording electronic music, because maybe my tutorials thus far haven't really addressed that. Even though most of the tutorials can be used for any style of music, I wanted to give you a straightforward approach to if you're a live band. Um, so this is what we're going to do. Basically, the session window is going to be used, but it's not going to be used necessarily in the same way for a live band. Um, I'm going to show you with the arrange window, which is right here. So basically, the first important thing that you're going to want to do is figure out the tempo of your song. And even if you've got a live drummer, I think it's kind of important that you make a basic drum beat. I've showed you tutorials on how to use impulse, and I've actually made an impulse part here, and over here I've got my MIDI drums. So I made a little 2-measure part. And basically the first thing that I would do is you got your basic drum beat, and then you figure out the tempo of the song that you want. So you might want to put headphones on and play along to it till it feels right. And then once you make this drum beat, just simply drag it over, or drag it in like this to the arrange window down here where we made MIDI drums. Pop it here. And down here is going to show you how long in minutes and seconds the song is. So you might want to drag it if you know the song is 5 minutes. So go ahead and drag that beat for that amount of time. This way you're going to be able to stay into tempo, and I think that's real important. Because if you want to cut, edit, paste, delete certain sections of your song, or repeat certain sections of your song, having everything in tempo in Ableton is going to make things a lot easier. Okay, so you've got your basic beat now, and now you're just going to record. You want to record linear. You basically got your song down and you know what you want to play, and that's great. I've gone into the options and preference window, into my record, warp, and launch section. This is version 6. Version 5 might be a little different, but you can still find the same information. I went to my count in, and I went to 1 bar, which is going to give me a 4 count. If you want 8 count, just go to 2 bars. No big deal. And now, if let's say you're playing bass, great. We'll go ahead and right click here and rename this bass. And then you're going to arm the track, and the way you arm the track is just by clicking this right here. And then you're going to hit the record button here, and then when you hit play, it's going to give you a 4 count, and then you're going to play along to this drum beat with your bass line. So great. You go ahead and hit this, and now you're recording. And then when you're done, you go ahead and stop. So you'd have your whole song. One important thing that I want to bring up that I didn't mention right before recording is, let's say you've got a sound card that has maybe 4 inputs or 2 inputs. A bass is a mono track. So if you've got this set to 1 and 2 like this is, you're going to notice that your bass only records on one side, okay? Because it's only picking it up in the 1 input that you plug it into, unless you're using some kind of stereo input. But if you're going direct or something like that, or just out of an amp, it's going to be mono. So what you want to do is you want to figure out which side you're putting that bass in. Is it input 1 or input 2? And you're going to choose that. And then let me go ahead and delete this here. And then of course you can set your volume over here. Great way to set your volume is to go ahead and hit the tab key, and then when you play you'll actually see the volume come up here. And by setting this little volume deal here, you can actually increase the level. And you don't want it to get too hot, so make sure you get your level in right. and click back over. And yeah, so you would just go ahead and hit record and play. So now you're playing your bass part all the way through. Now I'm going to let it go for a little bit because I want to show you another part. So if you're playing your bass and you screw up a little part, you can re-record your part if you want, but you can also correct that part by doing what's called a punch-in. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So we'll go ahead and hit stop. We'll assume that we've recorded the whole song here. And now we're going to get in and find out where that mistake was. And we figure out that that mistake was in measure 7. Okay? So we want to re-record measure 7. Well, how do we do that? We're going to take our little loop guy here. We're going to take it over to measure 7. And let's just say it was just this one measure that got goofed up. All you're going to do is you're going to go over here, these little icons here. This is a punch-in icon, and that's a punch-out icon. And that means where this arrow is, and this side, this is where it's going to start recording, and this side this is where it's going to stop recording. Okay, so you could pick up at any point in the song, or you can play along from the beginning, and it's not going to record anything until this part. So let's go ahead and play from the beginning. Now if we wanted to play, let's say from measure 5 or something, that's pretty easy to do. You just go ahead and click on here, and then when you hit record and play, it's going to start right at measure 5. Otherwise, you can just go back to 1. Let's go ahead and start at measure 5 just so it doesn't take as long. Yeah, we'll hit record and play, and you just play along with it, and then when that part comes up, boom, it's going to re-record the new part, and you've just made a punch-in.